Hi guys. So in today's video I'll be talking about the victims of evil editing in Mnet survival shows. I'll only be talking about contestants on Produce 48, Girls Planet 999 and Queendom Puzzle because they are the only Mnet survival shows I have watched in full. I don't think there's much more to say in the introduction, so let's just get on with the video. So let's start with the Boombayah Team 1 in Produce 48. This team consisted of Yunjin, Sohee, Chaeyeon, Chonju and Chaeyeon. They were evil edited because they were able to pick Boombayah, which was the song that they wanted, and they were also able to pick their opponent. They ended up picking the team which consisted of Nanami, Eri, Chaeyeon, Haeyeon, Yuka and Minami. This was the group that was formed last because no one else wanted them in their groups. They were also very open about the fact that Boombayah was the one song that they didn't want, so they were obviously very upset about the other team choosing them. I just want to point out firstly that Boombayah Team 1 didn't know that the other team didn't want Boombayah, and even if they did, it's not their place to accommodate their feelings, it's a competition. I do understand that it was kind of crappy of Team 1 just to choose Team 2 because they thought they'd be easy competition, but someone had to choose them because they didn't get the song they wanted. I promise you if another team chose them, Mnet could have easily edited them in the same way, depending on whether or not their own faves were in the group. Also, I know it's been 5 years but I'm still salty about Team 2 winning. I do like the girls in that team but their performance was nowhere near as good as Team 1. But of course audiences don't always vote for the best performance, just the performances that their faves are in. Next let's talk about Yunjin. If you're a new K-pop fan, as in you became a fan in the past year or two, or you didn't watch Produce 48 and only know Yunjin from Le Sserafim, you may be surprised to hear that she was evil edited because she is so popular now. But it did happen, and honestly I'm glad that people seem to be over this or understand that it was just evil editing now. She deserves every bit of her popularity. Anyways, so it was the position evaluation round of Produce 48, which is when contestants choose whether they want to show off their vocal, rap or dance skills, and obviously Yunjin, being the amazing vocalist she is, chose a vocal song. She was in a team with Chaeyeon, Mo, Eri and Naeko, and they performed Into the New World by Girls' Generation. In this song, there is obviously a high note and Naeko and Yunjin both auditioned for it. The group ended up voting for Naeko, but then Yunjin wanted another chance to audition and Naeko gave up her part and let Yunjin have it instead of agreeing to re-audition. Let's be honest here, Yunjin is a much better vocalist than Naeko, and I love Naeko. She was my bias in Is 1. It's not like Yunjin forced Naeko to hand over the high note part, she just asked for another chance to re-audition and Naeko made her own choice to hand over that part to Yunjin. The edit made it seem like Yunjin bullied Naeko into handing over the part, but I highly doubt that was the case. I feel like if Naeko really wanted that part she would have re-auditioned and fought for it. She probably felt that Yunjin would be better for the part, so that's why she handed it over. Also, Naeko did get a high note in the performance anyway, so it's not like Yunjin stole her chance to shine. Honestly, I personally have a lot of respect for Yunjin for this. It's not often you see people fight for the part they want like this in survival shows, and I honestly think it made the performance so much better. Next let's talk about the I Am team. So by this point, it was the semi-finals and they were all performing original songs. After the second round of voting, some of the 6 teams were left with either too many or not enough members. If a group had too many members they would have to agree to kick one or more members out in order to narrow it down to 5 members. The I Am team, which consisted of Riina, Yunjin, Gian, Yunjin and Yuri, decided that Chaeyeon should be one of the members to be kicked out. This led to them looking bad because Chaeyeon really wanted to perform I Am and she was obviously upset to be kicked out. I feel like anyone would be. It must feel humiliating. But remember, someone in that group had to be kicked out, and even before the votes happened and they were practicing with 10 members, the mentors praised Riina and criticized Chaeyeon when they were practicing the same part. Unfortunately they have to choose who they think will do best because obviously they want to win. I do think the process of having to kick someone out is awful though, they shouldn't have it in the first place. It's humiliating for the members who get kicked out and it makes the members who kick someone out look bad even though they are just following the rules given to them by the producers. This one actually makes me the most annoyed out of all of the evil editing in Produce 48. So it was the finals and the members got to choose which one of the 2 original songs they wanted to perform and which part they wanted. The higher ranked you were, the more likely you were to get the song and part you wanted. Miyu ended up choosing the song We Together and got the main vocal part. The issue was that she was struggling with the high note part, and because she didn't want to give it up it seemed like she was being selfish. I don't know why Mnet were expecting us to blame her for wanting to prove herself in the final round. I'm pretty sure most of us would have done the same. I feel like she knew she had it in her to do it and wanted more time to practice, and she did end up killing it. Not that we get to appreciate it though, the cameramen were literally filming everyone else during her high note part. Also we love the fact that Mnet conveniently glossed over the fact that Miyu gave up a lot of her parts so that she could focus on the high note. Honestly, even when Mnet were rigging the votes they still couldn't hide their blatant favoritism. Now moving on to Girls Planet 999. The first victim we'll be talking about in this survival show is Fu Yanning. Yanning was told by the producers to say we go up but you don't to Yunjin from CLC in order to cause drama. According to Yanning, everyone kind of took this as a joke after she said this, maybe because the girls knew she was told to say this, but the editing made it seem like what she said caused a lot of tension. Even I had believed the editing and I really didn't like Yanning for a long time while watching this show. I know we don't actually have proof that Yanning was told to say that, but I think it's very likely. If I was going to a completely new country, where the culture and language is different to what I'm used to, I wouldn't willingly insult someone who is quite well respected in that country on national television. Also it's not like the insult was very good, I feel like it definitely was intended to be a joke and Mnet edited it to make it seem like it was actual drama just for the promo videos. She was also evil edited in the semi-final round. The editing made it seem like she was being greedy for taking the main vocal part in Snake as if she wasn't literally told by the mentors that she would do a better job. The fact that the mentors literally said Fu Yanning became greedy when she couldn't do the high note in the dress rehearsal, I'm sorry. What do you mean greedy? Would you rather she just didn't take your advice? I'm honestly impressed that she made it into the finals and even got into the top 9 at one point. She definitely deserved it after all of the hate she got. Next let's talk about Liang Jiao. She was evil edited during the second round. She performed a rap song. I don't remember if she chose it or she had to do it because she wasn't ranked high enough. But the editing made it seem like she wasn't taking practice seriously as she kept leaving to go to the bathroom. Jiao actually had stomach problems during this time which is why she kept going to the bathroom, but of course Mnet wouldn't tell us that. They'll take any opportunity to make someone look bad who isn't one of their faves. The captions even said Liang Jiao always seems to leave at important times or something like that, making it seem like she wasn't dedicated, which is obviously really unfair when Mnet definitely knew about her being unwell. They also conveniently didn't focus on the fact that she actually performed decently despite having never written her own rap before. Was it perfect? No. But I hate the fact that she wanted to prove herself and not be seen as a joke anymore, only for her improvements to not be recognized and for her to be seen as a joke again. Now on to Yubing. When someone mentions evil editing in survival shows, Yubing is the first person I think of. Her story was kind of the saddest just because she was constantly in the top 9 but then she ended up ranking 26th overall, all because of evil editing. Basically she was struggling to lead her team in the second round and Mnet literally edited 2 scenes together to make it look like she took credit for the choreography even though most of her team took part in choreographing. They even included the wrong translation of what she was saying at one point to make it seem like she was not taking suggestions from her teammates, which is just horrible. They also put such an emphasis on the fact that Daeyeon, who was in the team they were competing against, was letting all of her members shine, but did anyone actually watch the Salute team? Every member of that team got their chance to shine as well. It sucks that Mnet evil edited Yubing just to make their own fave more popular. I know this isn't Daeyeon's fault by the way, and of course I don't hate her for this, she's very talented and I'm glad she's in Kepler. I just think that if Yubing hadn't been evil edited, she would have definitely made it into the finals and probably made it into the final group, as she had a strong fan base. So it's very sad that Mnet ruined her chances just because someone they liked better wasn't doing as well. Next, let's talk about Ruiqi. Ruiqi is another contestant who was very popular because she was extremely talented. In the creation mission, she was given the main vocal part, but the mentors suggested that they change who had the main vocal part. Their reasoning was because she couldn't sing the bam 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 part properly or something like that, which is ridiculous because with the part she ended up getting, she had to sing the bam 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 part anyway. They also didn't show her do the high note in the rehearsal, probably because she killed it and Mnet didn't want us questioning the mentor's decisions. Anyway, so the team decided on Yang having that part instead, and Ruiqi was seen not putting 100% into her practice and seeming bored. I understand that this was probably frustrating for her teammates, but at the same time, she probably felt very humiliated after the mentors decided to not have her as the main vocalist, as she probably worked hard on it. Not to mention her clearly being the correct choice for main vocalist after Yunjin was kicked out. The edit made it seem like she was bitter about not having the part, but I feel like this group was set up to fail because 2 years later I still don't understand the reasoning for changing the main vocal part. So yes, I think Ruiqi was completely valid in feeling upset here. Finally, moving on to Queendom puzzle. The first person I'll talk about is Chaeyeon. Chaeyeon came into this show not wanting to be seen as a crybaby after being in 4 survival shows before this. Her tactic in the first round was to downvote everyone because she wanted to have confidence in herself and believe that she was able to beat everyone in the show. Mnet took this as an opportunity to make her seem like the most arrogant person in the world, constantly filming her pressing the downvote button on all of the good performances. I've seen people say that her performance was disappointing considering that she downvoted everyone. And I definitely saw where this was coming from until I found out that she had to completely change her performance 6 hours before doing it because of copyright issues, considering that was what she could do in 6 hours. I would have loved to see what her performance was originally. Apparently it was Overdose by EXO, she would have been amazing. There isn't much more to say about Chaeyeon since she was only in the show for like 2 episodes, but I'm glad everyone saw through this evil editing, and unfortunately I can't say the same about the rest of the evil edited contestants in this show. Next, let's talk about Riina. Riina was evil edited because she performed Pop by Chaeyeon from Twice and she ended up messing up her high note. Then straight after her, Jihoon performed the same song and did a great job. The evil editing made it seem like Riina was jealous of Jihoon and was annoyed that Jihoon did a good job. I don't know about you, but I think that Rina's reactions were completely justified. I actually don't think she was mad at Jihoon at all. I think she was mad that she had made a mistake in her performance which caused her score to be quite low compared to some of the other contestants. Maybe she was slightly annoyed that Jihoon did a good job, but I feel like I would be as well. It doesn't mean she hated Jihoon or wanted her to fail, she probably just saw Jihoon's performance as what hers could have been if she hadn't messed up and was more annoyed at herself for not performing to the best of her ability. I feel like it's very normal for performers to be harsh on themselves after they mess up, especially in K-pop where perfection is expected. So I don't see why people were upset with her feeling this way. Finally, let's talk about Bora. Bora received the worst of the evil editing throughout Queendom puzzle. It literally started from the first round when she was seen smiling and clapping at someone's performance but then downvoting them. I'm sorry. Do you expect her to be miserable? I just saw that as her being polite and supporting her fellow contestants even if she didn't like the performance. She also got a lot of slack for dropping Hwisia and K from the Snap team so that the team had to rely on her to be the main vocalist. Do I think this was a smart decision? Definitely not. K and Hwisia were definitely integral to the drop team winning that round, along with the others of course. But I also don't blame her for wanting to ensure that she will get the main vocalist part. After all, she has an incredible voice, and if I had a singing voice like hers, I'd want to show it off as well. I also think it's interesting how editing can really make a situation seem worse than it is. In the final round, Nana decided to put herself down as the main vocalist despite her strength being dance and not vocals. She ended up not choosing K at all, probably for the same reason why Bora dropped her, but it wasn't made into a big deal at all. By the way, I also don't blame Nana for wanting to be the main vocalist and wanting to show her wide range of skills for the final round. I'm just pointing out how editing can make two similar situations seem completely different. Mnet also made it seem like the Cherry Bullet member were ganging up on Yeonhee in Dance the Night Away, even though Bora was clearly the right choice for that part. Both vocals and dance are important for a performance, and Bora's dancing was better than Yeonhee's vocals, so I was not mad about Bora getting that part at all. I think with Bora it's very interesting that in Girls Planet she was angel edited and everyone loved her, but in Queendom Puzzle it was the opposite. Also, when Bora was told that Jihan should be the main vocalist for I Do rather than her, someone on Viki commented finally Bora not getting her way or something like that. And you know, if someone said that about their fave they'd lose their mind. It sucks that people fell for the evil editing this time, because I really think that Bora could have made it if Mnet just left her alone. I really do wish her and the rest of Cherry Bullet the best for the future. We have finally reached the end of the video. Honestly, I was not expecting the video to be this long at all, and if you watched all the way through I really do appreciate it. I really hope you enjoyed. Have a great day or night and I'll see you next time. Bye.